Us kind of think the game the same way, and it's definitely been working well.
Thanks, Connor.
Battle of Alberta. You were part of some hellacious battles with LA head-to-head. Are you hopeful that maybe this particular matchup develops into what you had in Southern California?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it will, because we're all right there right now. Calgary's in the playoff standings right now. We are too, and everyone's fighting for a spot right now. And I think tonight's going to be an energy game. Everyone's going to be excited. Everyone's getting up for it. So we just got to find ways to keep winning. They lost last night. We know they lost last night. So you're going to be coming in here with all cylinders tonight, and could be a 4-point swing for us. We win tonight, and we just keep climbing up in the standings, and that's what we need to keep doing. We got to find ways to continue to go in the right direction right now.
As far as your own line is concerned, we were kind of making a joke. It was almost due, even though you'd been scoring, but you didn't get rewarded in Ottawa. Do you think there's a higher ceiling than maybe even this line has shown to this point?
Yeah, I think so. I think for our line right now, we're obviously going to play against a lot of shutdown lines. If we go on the road, we're going to play against shutdown lines. People are going to try to match our lines, but for us, we need to focus on playing good defense too. We know the offense is going to be there at all times. So for us, we got to find ways to not get scored on. And I think as of late, we've been getting scored on as much, but we got to find ways to limit that, not getting scored on, playing good defense, and from good defense leads into really good offense. Everyone knows Connor and Leon can play offense and score goals, but we got to find ways to play good defense too at the same time.
Patrick, sorry if you were asked this, but you saw this team a couple times early. A lot's changed since then. So what are you seeing on video, and what do you know about them that's maybe different than it was before?
Yeah, like you said, a lot has changed. We played in the first 2 games of the season, so for us, we know where they're at right now. They've been winning a lot of hockey games, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. Their power play and penalty kill been, I think, pretty excellent as from what we've been told. So as of late, so we just got to find ways to just continue what we're doing. It's all about us now. It's not about what they do. It's just about our compete level and what we do out there and how we dictate the play. So just got to come in tonight and play with a lot of energy, and we all know what's on the line right now. Everyone's talking about playoffs right now, so we just got to find ways to keep climbing and keep getting away from teams. We got to find ways to keep getting away from teams in the standings and make sure we have that sustained lead in the standings right now.
Do you think that, if it's a physical game, if it's a nasty game, is that good for you guys? You guys seem to be able to function in those types of games, and do you want to push it in that direction?
Yeah, everyone knows we're big and strong and heavy, but we also got some speed up front too. So for us, we know if they do want to play a heavy game, we can play the heavy game back. So that's a good thing about us. But for us, we got to play that game all the time. We got to continue that, because when we do play that game, we're really effective. And which it's not going in and get the big hit, but it's getting pucks deep, cycling them down low, protecting pucks, going to the net, creating third opportunities. That's playing big in my eyes, and playing big in the D zone, closing quick, playing hard. So that's us. It's not all about going out there and playing the big hit or trying to fight. I think that's what I think is playing big. So I think if we do those things, we'll be successful going forward, not just for tonight.
Thanks, Mark.
I like the comebacker. Well, I wasn't trying to. We talked about it. We're like, hey, what if, we should wear a helmet or something. Sure, they should create.
All right, Mark, it's been a while since these two teams have played in a game this meaningful. Just, how do you guys approach it tonight?
I think we're going to embrace the moment. I think that the community's already kind of talking about, you can tell. I'm sure the building's going to be rocking, because honestly, they've been looking forward to these kind of rivalry games for a while now. With both teams contending, what it means in the standings, there's a lot at stake, and that's the kind of games both franchises want to be playing. So I think to embrace it, maybe harness some of the emotion that might be in the building, make for a good game tonight.
It's been a while since you've seen them. How have they changed in your eyes from what you've seen lately?
Well, and I mean, we've played the first 2 games of the year. Guys are still sorting things out, settling in. Their special teams right now is running at a clip on both ends. They're, pretty elite in the league. So I think, I talk about the emotions and capturing that, maybe not letting it get the best of us and taking penalties early and putting some of the more dangerous players on the ice. Let their power play go to work is something we got to focus on. And they're getting some good goaltending. Johnson's really stepped up for them. So they're a good team. We know where the standings are at and kind of the situation with games in hand and points. It's a big game to try and push them a little further away from us.
Early in the year, Todd talked about how you guys would handle success and you wanted to see some growth there. You guys have had success. How do you think you guys have started to accept it and grow with it?
Yeah, I mean, we're winning hockey games. Been some close games going overtime, games maybe we should have closed out. But I think at the same time, it's still a learning experience as the season goes on. The games get harder. Everything's tighter. We're playing, it feels like playoff hockey now, the way teams are desperate for points. And we're not sneaking up on anybody. Nobody's taking us for granted like they did in the past as a 30th or 25th or minus team. We're in a spot and teams are coming prepared. So every game's been hard for us, and it's been good to kind of grow that way and good learning experiences for everybody in this room.
There doesn't seem to be that satisfaction level that used to seep in after a couple of good games in the past. You guys will go on a fairly decent run and still not be happy with it.
Yeah, I think that's been a whole kind of culture change, and that starts right at the top. Whether it was Bob Nicholson and Peter and Todd, the standards have been elevated here. We want to be a playoff team, we want to be a Stanley Cup team, and in order to be that, we have to continue to have our expectations be risen. And right now, yeah, we're in a good spot, but we know how quickly it can go. A bad week or two, and you're on the outside looking in. So I think the satisfaction with where we are, but we're not content with it. We know where we want to go, and the work that still has to go in to get there.
Mark, sorry if you've been asked this already, but obviously Saturday night, battle of
matchup. Kind of meant something in January, so definitely excited for this one.
They played last night and obviously weren't happy with the result. When you have a team that's coming in on the second night of a back-to-back, is there anything you need to be careful of?
Yeah, I mean, you have to try and jump on them early. Kind of wear them down. They played last night, and we could use that to our advantage. But at the same time, teams play so many back-to-backs now that I think everyone's used to it. So it's not a huge deal.
You may have been more aware of the Battle of Ontario as a location and time starts as well when you were younger, but do you remember much about the Battle of Alberta or seen some of those games?
I don't remember too much, no. Like you said, I was a Toronto kid, so I was always watching the 7 o'clock starts in Toronto, and I would never usually stay up too late to watch the 10 o'clock ones. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously played in a few of them now, so you definitely get an understanding of what they mean.
You saw them a few times early, but it's been a while. What are you seeing on video? What's your sense of where they're at as a team right now?
Yeah, we played them back-to-back first 2 games of the year, but I think you can throw that right out the window. They're a different team now. They have made a real push. They put themselves in a good position here in the second half. So you can't really go off of what happened in the first 2 games.
This is good for these two teams to be having success kind of at the same time and kind of almost measuring each other by the other team and the rivalry within the province and that kind of thing.
It's good for the fans, I guess. The fans can get into it, so definitely expect a loud building tonight, and hopefully more Edmonton fans. Usually it's a 50-50 split, so hopefully the more Oiler fans come out tonight.
It's been a few games now with Leon on your wing, and the points are coming. He's putting them up at a pretty good rate too. Just why is it clicking so well, and your thoughts on his game?
Yeah, he just thinks the game so well. He's such a big, strong player, and same with Patty. So all 3 of us kind of think the game the same way, and it's definitely been working well.
Thanks, Connor. I'm gonna stick it.
Guys, can you switch together?
Switch together.
Guys, and Frank, can we get the cameras down for a sec so we can get a clean shot from behind? Here, guys.
Morning. Excuse me. Hello, Staff.
Yeah, is this thing going or what?
Nice.
Yes. I don't even need.
Turn the volume down.
That's what most people say, noon to 2. All right, so Adam Larson rarely misses optionals, not out there.
Not playing tonight.
He's out for.
Not playing tonight, sick.
Okay, there we go.
Todd, it's been a little bit since you've faced this team. From what you see in them now and the way they're playing, maybe to the start of the year, is there a notable difference there?
Yeah, there is. There's, and that I don't know. I can't speak for the Flames, but from the outside looking in, they needed time. They needed time with a new staff and a real good staff, and they've had that time now. Their special teams are excellent. They're getting goaltending. They just needed time, and they're a tough opponent, not only for the Oilers but for anybody in the league.
Sorry, just going back to Larson there. That's a huge loss for you guys.
Larson is?
Yeah, Larson.
Yep.
Just how do you replace him in the lineup, or what?
You don't. You put bodies in, but you don't replace them, and you do things more by committee. Our pairs will be distributed tonight based on how they're performing more than set pairs, and you don't replace them. So hopefully it's short term.
Can you just address the idea of a Battle of Alberta in January, teams jockeying for playoff position, and that's kind of how rivalries are built, is in the meaningful?
It is. It's, we talked the other day when San Jose was here. I was asked the question about building a rivalry, and you don't really build it until you get, truly competitive and have the ability to push at the end of the season for a spot or maybe eventually play against each other. And both Alberta teams have done a good job to work into that spot in mid-January at least. I'm sure it's both our goals to continue to do that and, perhaps meet the way the playoffs set up now. The divisions play each other, and there's a chance that could happen. But, we're both in January. We're both dealing with the present. Ironically, we only play them 4 times this year, which is different, somebody that close to you. But we'll get this Saturday, next Saturday, and then who knows, maybe there'll be Saturdays in April or May in the near future where we can really create a rivalry.
Todd, obviously the McDavid, Draisaitl, and Maroon line has been excellent. With Draisaitl also being able to play center and how well threshold where you might be thinking, okay, if it's not happening for some other guys, then Leon goes to be a center and we proceed that way?
I think you always approach the game that way. You approach it with your whole lineup. If it's not clicking, you can't stick with it forever. You run out of time. And my concern with those 3 together is what the other 3 lines are doing and what they're getting accomplished. And, for the most part, the San Jose game, I didn't think we got a lot done, but against New Jersey, they all found ways to contribute. So we'll need that again today. Thank you.
Yeah, John, do you want to bring?